Hi, we're the Death Hilarious, and unfortunately, we're the last of the good guys.
Ooh, we're off to Button Moon. We'll follow Mr. Spoon. Button Moon, Button Moon. Apparently he was done for war crimes. That's what he was living on. He was exiled to Button Moon, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like, you know, when those Nazis used to go to, like, South America.
Yeah, the boys from Brazil.
Yeah.
I didn't see this episode.
I made it myself.
I made it.
Stop motion, obviously.
Stop motion. There was a lot of stop because I got carried away.
And there was quite a bit of motion too.
Cock.
Yeah. So I came up with... I like watching videos of people either laughing really hard or crying. And now that makes me sound like a psychopath, and maybe I am.
Yeah, there's a good chance.
There's a good chance. That and all the sadosexual killings
Yeah, that's true. The snuff films, the vintage snuff films.
Vintage snuff films I both make and distribute.
Yeah, he's been trying for ages to get the Susie Lamplugh snuff video. That's a terrible thing to say.
So obscure, and it's not going to make it. Guys, I don't even know what he's talking about.
It's fine. She was an estate agent, a really, really pretty estate agent who disappeared in London in 1987, 86. And there's a theory that Fred West or his brother kidnapped her, and she was murdered to make a snuff movie. Because apparently, Fred West went into a video shop near where he lived and offered snuff films that he'd made.
Really?
And the woman was like, the bloke or the woman who worked there was like, we don't sell that type of thing. Like we have got porn under the table here, under the desk.
Yeah.
But we don't sell snuff films.
It's like,
and he backed down. He was like, well, fuck you.
He's like, look, we got Last of the Mohicans and Tootsie, but I'm not interested in
Last of the Mohicans and Tootsie.
I'm not into, you know,
like, I don't mind people
poor vulnerable estate agent gets slain in council house kitchen.
Jesus Christ.
You know what I mean?
No, have you ever seen a snuff movie?
Yeah, of course.
But
not like a sexual one.
No.
So what do you define as snuff film?
I don't know, because I've never seen one.
Well, I don't know.
No, I genuinely haven't. Like, I've seen videos of people being killed.
Yes, you've sent me videos of people getting killed.
And you've sent me videos of people being killed.
I don't think so.
I think you might have sent at least two.
One-way street. Show you videos like.
What have I sent you? What videos have I? Right, tell me what videos I've sent you.
Actually, I did send you the video today of that monk self-immolating.
Self-immolating. There you go.
So I did send you that today.
So what videos have I sent you?
Oh God, you sent me one of a horrific motorcycle accident in India, and they were
can't remember.
And there were people were like pulling out body parts, and there were people just wandering around. You know, like in real life, the thing about tragedy and death in real life is very pedestrian, and that's what's so alarming about it. It's not stylized like in a Tarantino film. They're pulling like people's limbs, like shredded limbs, and it's just like
he's actually
sopping. I'm not sopping.
He is. He's misremembering this, because I'm going to remind him what I actually sent him. He is conflating two videos here. One was of a motorcycle accident somewhere in Africa, where someone's leg was shredded up, and the other was a video of somewhere in either India or the Far East of a huge crocodile or alligator being opened up, and them taking out...
I remember that one. I remember that one distinctly. That was different.
Taking out the bits of the man from the inside of the...
Yes.
Of the crocodile or whatever it was.
Yeah. The one with the guy, it's like a CCTV footage of like a kitchen in like it's definitely in India, and there's like a small kind of stainless steel kitchen, and there's a guy there, and they're fiddling around with like the electricals.
Oh, and it blows up.
And one of them. This is how fucked up and sick we are, right? not only do I've seen so many of these videos that I get them confused, but I also don't know which ones you've sent me and which ones I've looked up by myself.
Oh no!
So
I get them sent to me.
This is what I mean.
By friends who are like in rugby teams and stuff, and they have that sort of shit going on all the time.
But Glenn, you might as well be hung for a sheep as a lamb at
This
this
is
point.
true,
Do you know what I
yes.
mean? There's no point in defending yourself. We've both seen some pretty disturbing things in our time.
That's pretty
As
bad.
I would argue, a lot of people have, at least like once.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah.
But this one, they touch the electricals, and they don't blow up. He just gets electrocuted and dies.
Like Marv.
But he just
in Home Alone 2.
Well, I would argue not as comedic as that.
Oh, okay. I don't want to sell Daniel Stern down the river. Yeah, he's a great actor.
I can't believe you know his name, Daniel Stern. Yeah, no, he just fries, and then I think someone else tries to help him, and they fry. Because
Oh my god! Because they've never watched any of those.
They've never seen any
information
where
movies
the boy
with the kid with the bowl haircut goes near the power plant,
which used to terrify me.
They very
genuinely.
They were like, I reckon,
kept me away from.
I reckon they were like prototype Shane Meadows films. They were.
Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah.
Those public information movies
It must have influenced him somewhere along the line when he was making Dead Man's Shoes.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, yeah, Snuff. So yeah, I've seen some pretty awful stuff actually, and you do like.
There was a video you could buy in HMV in the 90s, and it was over in like the kind of eclectic section where they'd have like documentaries. Yeah, Snuff section.
This is why HMV went into administration and they had to rebrand the whole place.
Yeah. It was just like a video, and it was just like a blind photograph of like a blindfolded bloke on the front, and it was just called Executions, and it was just like snuff video that you could actually buy in HMV.
What?
I mean it.
Are you sure you weren't taking snuff films and putting them in between the DVDs in HMV? That's some sort of sick prank.
No. All the time. You could buy that in HMV.
All right, I'm gonna look this up and I'm gonna put a little still up of this.
It's a real video.
Well, I mean that is really.
It's fucking mad that you could have bought that in HMV in the 90s.
This film should shock because truth hurts.
Yeah,
what?
and being executed hurts as well.
Yeah, that can send you.
Hocus Pocus is the next recommended search. Bizarrely, I don't really know why. Sisters, we're gonna go watch an execution.
It was equally as frightening, to be honest.
Yeah, it's good fun.
It's like Wizard of Oz, where you see one of the Munchkins hanging himself.
That's one of the maddest urban myths ever.
Great urban myth that is.
And it's just like a large bird flapping its wing.
Yeah. I remember looking at it and going, I can't quite see it. And then you had like they had like nascent bullshitters in your class going, yeah, you see his legs swinging and everything.
Yeah, it was
and
like,
you can see his kids crying
like
underneath.
What was the Ghost Boy? What film was that?
Ghost Boy and Three Men and a Little Baby.
3 Men and a Baby. Yeah, that's right.
See the Ghost Boy in the curtains, and it's just like
a cardboard cutout.
Yeah.
It's like, is it the ghost of a child in a movie, in a blockbuster movie, or is it a cardboard cutout that's been left there? It's a ghost of a child. 100%. I want to believe that.
I've seen Casper quite a few times. I know what a ghost boy looks like,
yes.
alright, mate? Now, this is kind of the post-truth era, but these were before the post-truth era,
That's a depressing phrase.
No, but it's like the idea of like, two people can look at the same thing and come away from it with completely different interpretations.
Yes, in fact, I thought for years that in Casper, the father was played by Robin Williams. I was like, oh my god, that's not Robin Williams. It was like a dream where, you know, like, it's your aunt, but it's not your aunt. You know? When you have a dream, when someone is like...
Where you're kissing someone, and then...
When you're in sex with your auntie. You ever had one of those dreams? Okay.
Well, apparently if you watch the new reboot of the Jumanji films, you can see the ghost of Robin Williams in it, crying his fucking eyes out. Because the films are so bad. But he had to appear...
Contractually,
he was called from the spirit world.
He was summoned.
How shit the films were, just to like make them try and help them, try and make them better. No.
So Executions available on eBay and VHS.
Yes, as is Jumanji, Casper, Flubber.
Flubber. I think the first time I ever walked out of a film.
Direction you have had. It's Flubber.
Robin Williams' Dickie Bow. Robin Williams' Dickie Bow. It was made my Dickie Bow. I can tell you that. Come on. Come on!
That's how we tell them.
That's how we tell them, isn't it? Fellas walking down the Antrim Road.
First film you what?
I walked out of and then went back in because I was there for my friend's birthday party.
Get some popcorn.
No, it was a hot dog. Fat guy. Fat kid. First hot dog. Hurt a hot dog in the UCI cinema in Swansea. I'd always wanted one. But although I was
Was the cinema an excuse to go for the hot dog?
I mean, there's probably a psychiatrist would tell me that's really why you went. But no, I went because of a birthday party. And I remember thinking, oh, cool, Robin Williams' latest movie, that's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is pretty shit. Because Flubber is pretty shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was like, I'm just going to go and get some to eat. I just walked out. I had enough for a hot dog and I ate it in the foyer and then came back.
Do you know what? That also happened to me, not when I was a child. Last week, when I was 37, I went to see Tar.
Oh, yeah.
Starring Cate Blanchett. And it's one of the longest, most boring, most pretentious films I've ever seen. And I was so angry when I was watching it. I said to the two people I was with, I said, I have to go out and get some sweets. I don't usually eat at the cinema, but I was like, I have to go out and get some sweets because I'm not going to enjoy this. And so I went out and got some Sour Patch Kids sweets and sat there watching Tar.
I thought they were the kids you were hanging out with. I went and sat with some Sour Patch Kids. That Cate Blanchett film's shit, isn't it? And they're like, have you seen Black Panther? And they're like, no.
Because I'm so sour. Yeah. Yeah, but anyway, don't go and watch it.
Yeah,
Sour Patch Kids or Sour Patch Adults.
For Darren to slag off a film as pretentious, it must have been fucking unbearable.
Yes, Glenn knows this. I have seen a 12-hour Hungarian film 3 times in 1 year. So I've got a tolerance for boring films, okay?
Yeah.
So back off, Kermode. So anyway, I was talking about I like watching things where people cry and that people laugh.
Right, reaction videos.
No, not reaction videos. Just like an interview. Like I'll search on YouTube for celebs crying because, and it's not like to in a sneery way or a condescending way. I like seeing real emotion, and it makes it almost like makes me have. It's like a weird voyeuristic thing. Like makes me have that emotion a little bit. It makes me feel. It makes me. I want to feel something. And also, same when I see someone laugh, it makes me feel happy.
It is infectious. So that sounds like a really laughing is so infectious.
It's the best medicine. I mean, it couldn't get my mum out of a coma, but really, really
the best medicine. I mean, it couldn't cure my dad's malaria. He went blind and threw himself off the balcony in the High Commission. And
I'll tell you what, after his funeral, I'll put on flubber, and you know what? I'll crack the smile.
Because laughter is the best medicine. It's the best medicine. But if you've got malaria, quinine is the best medicine.
Usually, with you, Glenn's the person who has usually made me laugh the most, and there are two times when and it's the hardest I've ever laughed in my life. We were rehearsing for our Edinburgh show in 2017.
Yeah.
We do a sketch called The Ass Baby. And I don't know if I should set it up. Possibly I should. But basically it's a sketch where a bloke gives birth to a baby out of his ass. Is that basically there's a bit where I've got this baby and it looks horrific and it's like covered in shit and blood. And I go to give it to you like, oh, I kiss the baby on the head because I've given birth to it. And then I give it to Glenn to kiss. And on rehearsal, Glenn's come out with some very funny things. Glenn's very witty, Glenn's very quick. But what made me laugh the most was he can burp on command. And it sounds like it's a very like guttural. I mean, maybe you could do it now. Just do the burp you do.
Okay.
In Ass Baby. So I've got the baby here, and I just present it to Glenn. And that's that. He did that. And I never really maybe heard you do it before.
No, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure. I knew I could do it.
It was so guttural.
I just thought, what would you do if presented by a baby covered in feces?
You'd retch. You'd retch. But because it sounded so guttural, it just floored me, and it actually floored me.
Yeah, I was actually surprised that he made him laugh as much as he did.
We both started laughing a lot, and we were both crying, laughing, and then Glenn stopped laughing.
Yeah.
And sort of looked at me and went,
on the floor.
Are you all right?
Like, yeah.
And I was on the floor. I couldn't breathe. I was like... I was like, I looked like the Nazi getting his face melted at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark. I was like, but so this is another thing. So I can't remember where I first saw this, and again, it's similar to the burp thing. It's just someone retching, but basically it's Kim Woodburn of How Clean Is Your House, who, I mean, has led a hard life.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. But I think it's the fact that she is so prim and proper, and also just the noises that she is making.
She's
this is her, like,
she's got this kind of affected, like, way about her.
Well, she's like looks haughty. She like literally
haughty
looks
is the
down
perfect word,
her nose
yeah.
at people.
Yeah.
So this is basically her on "I'm a celebrity, get me out of here," and she's
Doing the Bush Tucker trial.
Doing the Bush Tucker trial, where she's out, where they're having to eat all sorts of disgusting things. Yeah. Very poetic, Katie.
You make me feel sick. I puked twice. I swallowed it back down. Go on, Kim.
You can hear it. You can hear her intestines. She's so.
Well done. You
Oh,
are tremendous.
God. Never fails to not make me cry. Oh my God.
Did have violence,
I'm
eh?
sorry, I'm very sorry. Swallow this down, you've got a meal for exile.
Alright, love. Well,
Yes, well done.
It gets better as well.
Oh yeah, this is just the amuse-bouche.
You just couldn't chew through the gristle.
It's like a symphony. It's like a gastric symphony.
You got it? Yeah.
See, I know this video so well. I know all the movements of it. Like my
Yeah.
favorite song.
Yeah, it's like Marla.
Yeah.
So well done.
Also interesting they're using James Horner's soundtrack for the sinking in Titanic in the
Really?
background. Yeah.
so brave.
That's not right. Oh, God, that was just... I can't describe it.
Oh, this is the greatest piece of television I've ever seen.
Come on.
Get away from me with that vomit. You're doing really well, Kim. You got it.
Yeah.
You're doing well. I'm not talking, so let me concentrate.
Stop laughing here. Sorry. Actually, God almighty, this is awful. So horrible. I cannot describe me in tears. Probably best not ask questions.
Yeah.
You keep quiet.
Yeah.
You just want to vomit it back up. You can't stand it.
The last one.
Did you do it? Unbelievable. Well done.
Oh, my face is hurting.
That is good.
Oh,
She says she's almost in tears.
oh, that's the best bit.
I'm absolutely thrilled. I never thought I'd do it.
It's just
the sludge
it's
sound.
the
I've a sneaking suspicion that might have been added in post-production.
by a
I
cruel
think so.
member of the production team. We just want to go. Let's
It's
really
weird.
hammer it
It
home.
seemed like
It's also the
how are those
orchestra
noises?
in the background, as if she's like, you know, wrestling with some great.
Well, I say it's
moral
the
dilemma.
sinking scene in the Titanic. That's
Right,
what that
okay.
music's from. It's when all like the superstructure starts to fail and all the doors start smashing
really?
off and the glass dome goes and everything. Yeah, that's what
So
the
you're
music's
talking about
from.
Kim now. We're talking about the Titanic.
Well, it's
Very
a
glass
disaster
dome
and a
when-
tragedy, and many people suffered.
Right. So this is your one now. This is your.
This
thing
is
that makes
like
you laugh.
it's maybe I'd say it's not as kind of it's not as funny in the same way, but it's a good like fuck up that doesn't get the credit it deserves. Like nobody's
I
really
remember
seen
when this
it.
came out. This is great.
It's just a perfect cock up, and I love
It
it.
is,
I
yeah.
love it very much. It's very funny.
Today marks the 70th anniversary of one of the greatest mysteries of the Second World War. Hitler's deputy, Rudolf Hess, flew to Scotland and parachuted into a
perfect
field
picture, isn't
to
it?
the
It's
south
so
of
mild-mannered
Glasgow.
and...
Hess believed he could find a way of securing peace between Britain and Nazi Germany. John McVicker was a 10-year-old schoolboy at the time. Apologies, that obviously wasn't who we thought it was. Now, let's see if we can have the weather forecast now with Kat.
A moment of panic on her face.
It's perfect.
And this bit now. Yeah, wait there, no.
Yeah,
Just at the end.
Some technical problems. That wasn't Kat Kuby either. Let's see if we can have the weather forecast now with Kat Kuby.
Good morning.
This is silly, but it always makes me laugh.
What's really good about that is that after the first cock-up, she clearly wants to say, obviously that wasn't Rudolf Hess, but she just can't draw attention to it.
No, exactly. It's just not who we thought
good.
it was.
That is
I thought we'd have a little chat about something you and I really, really, really don't like very much.
This has been a real reed in our fuck trumpet, which is alluding to what we are talking about. It's basically middle class swearing.
And apologies to some middle class people who do swear properly and they just swear. I do know some working class people who do this as well, particularly ones who've been to university, and particularly people who think that it's like we described them before, and we love Blackadder a lot.
Yes.
But it's people who speak like they're in an episode of Blackadder.
Yes.
I used to know I didn't know him, but I saw him do it when I used to. I collected Warhammer for a brief time. You might be surprised to know.
Yeah.
When I was about 12, 13, and there was a guy who worked in the Warhammer Games Workshop in Swansea, and they used to have like a big gaming table with like a battlefield on it, and people would like play with the different armies and stuff.
Yeah.
And he was one of the workers there who was in charge. I suppose he was in his early 20s, and he used to reel off Blackadder lines at these kids like they were his.
Oh no!
And he'd get them slightly wrong as well.
Oh right.
So he would go, I remember him saying once, he went, "That's the worst idea since Chief Olaf the Hairy ordered 50,000 battle helmets with horns on the inside." Oh. And a few of the kids went, I was like, that's from Blackadder Series 4. Well, what are you doing?
I imagine then one of the kids going, "Sir, I think you're queer." You just go, "You can't. No, that's the worst slur."
I'm not, because I got a boner when I was helping my mum make the lasagna last week, so fuck you. It's the sort of person who says the word fuck trumpet and cockwomble.
Cockwomble's the worst.
A chundering cockwomble. I think that's what you'll find Boris Johnson is. And it's some man.
My good man.
Some man who's
If I may be so bold.
If I may be so bold. And they're the sort of person that if someone writes, somebody writes, "Oh, this is an omni-shambles," and they write, "Brilliant. Mind if I steal this?"
It's like, it's stolen already.
It's stolen already. It's from something else, so you can do what you like with it, really. They are just.
And they usually,
It's usually like a retired accountant who's got loads of money and he lives in Hampshire.
Trilby
He's got
hat.
not even
goatee
trilby.
beard.
Yeah, he's got a goatee. He's got those glasses that don't
Perfectly
have.
round, rosy-cheeked head.
Yeah.
A very rosy-cheeked,
He's got those glasses that are just the lenses. There's no frames.
Yes.
And he's got like a Ralph Lauren shirt that's a bit big for him.
Yeah.
But
They're not shambolic.
They're the sort of people who
like slightly off centre
because they've got a bit of money. They think they try and tweet celebrities from their fucking little mansion they've got.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yes, they're like, I don't know, they fucking try and tweet like Reece Shearsmith or something, and they're like, oh yes, and then like you see there's no response ever, and they're just like.
I don't know, like Duncan Banner type,
oh, yeah,
for example,
or
someone like
that's a good example.
or someone like Alan Sugar, for example, and just be like him and his wife out by their pool or something, and they'd just be tipping the champagne glasses and just going, you go, a wonderful Sunday evening with Alison.
Yeah.
Great, happy, something like happy Sunday to you, you and yours.
You and yours.
Something like that. Some like shit, sort of like,
Yeah.
you know, trying to curry favour with the fans, basically. And then underneath, in the tweet, will be this kind of guy doing exactly the same near his slightly less opulent pool, and just going, doing the same myself, Chief. Much love to you and the wife.
Yeah.
And then, again, no response. No response.
Oh, God.
We'll just go, no, say, if I may be so bold, sirs, to ask where you got that fine bottle of Champers. And it's like, no response.
No response at all.
Nothing, and he's got this. He's just sat there for the rest of the night waiting for it, like that, expecting like, oh, this will be it now. I'll get my retweets, and I'll get at least 1,000 followers off the back of this.
And he doesn't understand, because he's like managed to sort of bully his way through being a chartered accountant or a solicitor his entire life. He doesn't understand the wall he hits on social media, which is like, you're not interesting to anybody.
Yeah.
Like nobody cares.
Yeah, but you're in charge of people, so people have to suck up to you in the workplace.
Yes,
online,
exactly.
it's not the case.
Yes, and then he storms around his house going, that Duncan Bannatyne's he's a chundering cunt nugget. Whereas a real human being who's not trying to be too clever would just go, do you know that bloke? He's a fucking cunt. I fucking can't stand him.
Yeah, you know, just say something like, look, mate, hope you and your wife die tonight. All the best. You didn't have to swear. You can just say something fucking horrible.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? They'll be on like Instagram or something.
Yeah.
And the Instagram will be a caricature of them, but as one of their favourite Doctor Who's.
Oh my God.
So it'll be like their face as a cartoon, but like as John Pertwee.
John Bird.
You know what I mean? Or probably if they've got a bit of an ego about it, I'm probably David Tennant. They probably think, that's the Doctor. You know, the Doctor I identify with most? Jodie Whittaker. Jodie Whittaker. So it's just like making some sort of point.
Well, it probably is David Tennant, since they, since they retired and they started going to that spin class because the Doctor warned them about their health. They lost 4 stone, and now they think they can shag some of the women in the spin class. So they've left their loyal wife, turned their children against them, lost half their house. And and they're thinking of having a weave, correct the balding. Some plugs, and now they're just,
get some jet black plugs, but they'll go on like their daughter's friends' profiles.
Oh my God!
And they will leave stuff like my friend told me this. She said she had a few.
Growing up so fast, Rosie.
Oh.
I've seen stuff like that.
He's fucking thumbing his chode down there. Do you know what I mean? As he's typing it with one hand. So you're growing up into a rather fine-looking young woman.
Yes.
Love to your father, just to temper it, to make it look like, look, there's no intent. I said well wishes to her father. There's no hand going on. I'm just going like, I remember when you were on my knee with
God.
You and Sarah were on my knee. Just little girls you were then, not anymore though.
Yeah.
Time flies. I wank. Fucking smashing the keyboard. 1001ZXP.
Time flies. If you ever enter the sex work trade, please let me know. Oh fuck.
And then he recovers, and then tries
he passes out. He passes out with wanton lust, just
drooling. And then he's woken up. And he's going, oh God, he has a shot of insulin. And then tries to clarify the earlier comment by going like, I'm sorry, I don't know what came over me. I like to come over you. Another one. Go again. Yeah. So anyway, I think they're. I think the middle class swearers out there are an absolute bunch of twat gauges.
Twat gauges.
And
some frigging toss sponges.
You're an absolute fuck brush.
You're a widening wank stain.
You're an absolute piss plum.
Toffee crisp twat.
You're a penis fridge.
You're a bum trumpeting fog tosser. They're cunt fiddlers. A bunch of bastard cunts, and I'll kill them if I get my fucking hands on them. Okay. Yeah, when I was about 10 or 11, a couple of my friends went to.
He was fucked by a priest, eh? That's funny, isn't it?
Oh, God.
That's the first story. Wait to see what happens next.
Yeah, I got pregnant. That's the weird part of it. And I gave birth to bum chocolate Jesus. And he smelled of feces, but he was my salvation. No, when I was about 10 or 11, a couple of my friends started going to this youth group around the corner from me. So I went as well. And yeah, so it was just on a Friday night. You would just you'd sing songs, you'd play some games, they had indoor sort of...
You got ping pong and...
Oh, exactly, you know exactly the type of thing. And then you could take like a tuck shop upstairs where you could buy
strawberry Panda Pops.
Lowe's Panda Pops, or Panda Pops or Lowe's Pops,
Yeah,
and then
Lowe's
you'd
Pops.
have and then you could buy some they'd have a pack of crisps Space Raiders, and Penny Mix and all that type of thing.
Yeah, that's quite...
But I used to go quite a lot. And I believed it for a while. I believed a lot of it. I used to be really scared of the supernatural and ghosts and stuff. And I thought there was I remember one day I went there and there was a man. This was in one of the afternoon services where all the adults were there on a Sunday.
Right.
And they said that people were going to be there talking in tongues, which is
I've heard of that.
which is made up, just in case anyone's not really
Glossolalia.
Glossolalia is exactly what it's called. And there was all these people, and this man was talking, and this old man got up from the crowd and stumbled sort of up to the lectern, and he sort of pushed the other man talking aside, and he yelled in the most indecipherable gibberish, as far as I could tell. And then he sort of did this for about 5 minutes, and then he sort of got really sweaty, and then he just collapsed, and some people helped him off the stage. And then another old man in the crowd started sobbing, and he walked up to the stage. All of us, meanwhile, a few of us who were 12, 13 at the time, we all sat at the back, fucking terrified. There's about 100 people in this room. And then he goes, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, that man has spent the last 3 minutes blaspheming the name of the Lord Jesus in Japanese. And instead of going, well, he obviously knows Japanese, and just put on a thing, they were all like, oh wow, that is the Lord speaking through this man in Japanese instead of English for some reason. And watch all these people believing it hook, line and sinker. Wow. It was absolutely deranged. But it was such a weird place to spend a lot of time, and it did a lot to make me cynical, in general. One of the many beautiful songs we used to sing in this youth group. One of them was...
Prayer is like
a telephone for us to talk to Jesus. Prayer is like a telephone for us to talk to God. Prayer is like a telephone for us to talk to Jesus. Pick it up and use it every day. Now see?
I didn't even grow up with that. I know that through him.
Yep, he knows that.
So he sang it so many times.
I've sung it so many times. It's in there, never goes away. I will build my church. That was the other one.
I will build my church.
I will build my church. And the gates of hell, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it. I will build my church.
I will build my church.
And the gates of hell, shall not prevail against it. And your powers in the heavens above, bow down. And your powers in the earth below, bow down and acknowledge that Jesus is Lord, It's in there. It's never gone away. I don't believe any of it anymore.
I also think they're just catchy songs.
They're really catchy songs, actually.
Yeah.
I probably pinch. What was the other one? This one. I remember this guy. He was singing, and he's one of these guys as well who would do this. He'd always be standing up, doing that, and he always had this Mickey Mouse T-shirt on. Right, really skinny, tall, weird guy with really bad acne. Right?
Yeah,
and he was I guess he was in his mid-20s at the time.
Okay.
We were all quite young. There were some kids with that, 8 or 9. I remember he was there, and the weird part was he wasn't looking at anybody, and he always wore these joggers as well, these black sort of drawstring joggers. Always comes back to the drawstring joggers. And they were singing. He was singing a song and it was going, "We shall stand with our feet on a rock, setting our faces like flint. We'll walk into the night." That was the song, all right?
Wow.
And I remember turning around and he had the biggest hard-on I have ever seen in my life. But he wasn't like looking at any kids or anything. He was just in. He was in like talk about religious ecstasy. That's exactly what he was doing.
I feel it manifests in the way of like people getting healed, recovering spontaneously.
Oh, do you think that was his ED sort of getting better? It's like his Lord's moment.
Because we had I didn't have a. It wasn't like a strict religious upbringing in any way. It was very secular, but we sang a lot of religious songs.
Well, at school.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, same. Yeah.
But it was just that. I mean, I just think that just got passed down from when it was religious, and people just were just still doing it because they had nothing else to say.
Yeah, but there's also
they didn't have Baby Shark back then.
No, of course not.
Right, this is the song I remember singing. Autumn days when the grass is jewelled and the silk inside a chestnut shell. Jet planes meeting in the air to be refuelled. All these things I love so well, so I mustn't forget. No, I mustn't forget to say a great big thank you. I mustn't forget.
What? What's a god?
Yeah. Just thanking him for everything. Clouds that look like familiar faces and the winter's moon with frosted rings. Smell of bacon as I fasten up my laces and the song the milkman sings. Oh, I mustn't forget.
That's great.
I mean, to be honest, it's a bizarre list of things you should be thankful for.
No, see, I think those sort of songs...
This is the maddest one. So, autumn days when the grass is jewelled, fine. And the silk inside a chestnut shell. It's not something many people see, but I suppose when you see it, it's quite pretty.
I don't care.
This is the weird one. Jet planes meeting in the air to be refuelled.
It's the idea that the god has done that. No, he hasn't. The best he's done is allow his own creation to work that out themselves over centuries.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they've done it.
I love the fact a religious family staring out the plane window and going, "Look at God's great miracle." Yeah. 2 jet planes meet. Yeah, it's bizarre. It's a bizarre list. Whipped up spray that is rainbow scattered and a swallow curving in the sky. Shoes so comfy though they're worn out and they're battered and the taste of apple pie. So I mustn't forget. So I mustn't. And then the final verse. Scent of... We didn't really get this far, to be honest. We only did the first 2 verses. Scent of gardens when the rain's been falling and a minnow darting down a stream. Obsessing with machinery here. Picked up engine that's been stuttering and stalling and a win for my home team. Oh, I mustn't forget. Oh, I mustn't forget. To say a great big thank you. I mustn't forget.
I have never heard that song in my life.
Yeah,
that
we
is mad.
used to sing that one. Do you know who that's by? That song?
No.
Kevin Mayhew. I don't know. No idea.
Because we used to sing proper old Fire and Brimstone songs, which I still quite like now at funerals.
To be a pilgrim and stuff like that.
Well, we used to sing Guide Me, O Thou Great Redeemer, which is... Guide me, O the great Redeemer, pilgrim through this barren land.
Jet planes meeting in the air to be refuelled. All these things I love so well.
My old pair of shoes, or whatever the fucking shit is.
What verses could we add to that? Do you think? What would you say? A great big thank you for?
A great big thank you. I would. The Indian takeaway I had last weekend was pretty great.
Yeah.
Bargees cooked to a softy, crispy perfection. Curry that'd been cooked with clean oil, so I didn't shit myself the next morning. In fact, I couldn't tell it had an Indian. The naan bread was nice too. There you go. It was good, actually. It was really nice.
The ruptured appendix that was taken out my daddy. All these things I love so well.
The clean death that they gave my great-grandfather because he was a traitor and a fascist in the war. All these things I've got to be grateful for or whatever.
Okay, everybody, and now we're going to finish off this sermon with a lovely song that we all know.
We all know. So let's all sing it together. Because remember, everyone, Jesus wants you for a sunbeam.
Prayer is like a telephone for us to talk to Jesus. Prayer is like a telephone for us to talk to God. Prayer is like a telephone for us to talk to Jesus. Pick it up and use it every day.
Surface